Hello guys, it's the real Masterfish Gaming here, back with another video, and sorry if it's been so long. I've been very busy as of lately. I've been very busy, but I can't really speak too much about it because I've been very busy. Just doing adult stuff. To be honest with you, that's what people do. When people just don't really have that much time. To be honest with you, so I don't really have that much time to kill. Like I normally people would. Rushing their workload. Like me, for example. And today in this video, I'm going to be going through, why, Fortnite have been, forgetting, about, some like cosmetics, and I'm going to be going into detail about why is that the case, and I'm going to be going through about, what cosmetics are going to set to make a return, in 2026. And I'm going to be talking to you about why some emotes that Fortnite have scrapped from releasing. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, don't forget to subscribe for available for daily awesome videos. It really helps support the channel at the same time. And also don't forget to use code MFG all caps in the Fortnite shop if you guys want to support me out. I really do appreciate it. Especially from especially when the chapter 2 season chapter 17 to come out. I really do appreciate it. So when it is, because when it's about to release in a new couple of weeks. So yeah, let's start straight into today's video. Now there is going to be a few cosmetics I'm going to have to mention is probably when it comes down to exclusivity, because like exclusivity has been kind of, because obviously back in the day Fortnite used to release like exclusive skins. Fortnite used to release like a lot of like really like a lot of like rare skins, and some of them are actually more rare than people actually may think, and some of them are really good skins. And and Fortnite did actually say, I do remember like back in chapter 7, chapter 5 season 4, this was like the end of chapter 5, and also this is way before we went to the chapter 2 OG remix season. Fortnite did actually state on X, formerly known as Twitter, they did actually say that exclusivity is removed from the game. So technically, any Iron Shop skin, like any skin from an older Battle Pass, can actually make a return, and that does include, don't only say that that they can easily make a return, because that is 100% been confirmed by all of the leakers, guys, and it is literally no joke, and I honestly there's no doubt in my mind that that all these skins will make a return one day. But it's just a matter of time when Fortnite decides to release them, and when Fortnite decides to go ahead and just release all these skins into the Fortnite shop. But I'm going to talk about the exclusive, about all the exclusives, and I'm going to talk about all of the other skins, in the other skins, just in 1 second. Now, there's one particular skin that that kind of caught my eye, as of lately, is the iconic skin. And the iconic skin is a very good exclusive skin, and I'm honestly, guys, I'm a big fan of it, because this skin used to be released. This skin was first released back in chapter 1 season 8, so this was during Fortnite's peak. This was during Fortnite's peak times, and it was released during a very popular time period of Fortnite. And this was more for fun fact. This skin was released during the vending, when Fortnite first added vending machines to the game. So this was released back then, and the only way to accumulate the skin is to buy a separate phone for the skin, or to get a code for this skin, which was kind of underestimated, and also it was very, and this skin was very popular. And this skin, in my personal opinion, is absolutely good. It does, looks like it's slept upon. It's a very interesting skin, and it's a very good unique skin, including this emote. The scenario emote is absolutely fantastic. I do use it from time to time, and to be honest with you, I do honestly kind of this skin's on my favourites, but the only thing that kind of caught my eye, the thing that caught my eye as of recently, and I was watching a YouTuber, called it. If you guys don't know, if you're familiar with the YouTube called Ashton, he's the people are calling him the number one. He's the number one, skin collector in the world. He's the guy who collects skins. He reviews like Fortnite. Who guys reviews Fortnite lockers, and what this guy says is that he reviewed a Fortnite locker with over 2,000 skins, which is at almost 2,000 skins, because there's like over like 600 skins that the account was missing. And it had a lot of exclusives. This locker had almost like every single skin in the game that you can imagine, every single pickaxe in the game, every single contrail, almost every single gun wrap, and like every single thing you can imagine, guys, in just one locker. This locker, when I reviewed it, I thought, my God, this locker is very, very stacked. It's a very, very good locker. This skin had had a lot of OG season 1. There's a lot of season 1 stuff on it, and a lot of season 1, season 2, season 3 battle pass. The skin goes on and on and on. And when I look at this locker, and also they did say that it was only missing one exclusive skin on it, and that is called the Iconic, and the Iconic skin was removed from that locker. For what reason, I don't know. The only reason that I could really think of, and that does kind of prove onto my next point, is that it could be all down to the fact that this skin could be because this count was banned, and I don't understand why this skin got removed. This skin got revoked from that person's locker. I mean, I do actually feel for this person who actually got this skin removed from their locker. It could be down to that this merging this merging system, because I do remember there was a lot of conspiracies about when you merge accounts in Fortnite. This is popular way back in 2020 or 2019 and back in the day, where you used to merge accounts and used to when you have a PlayStation account, you used to merge it with your Xbox account, and people did the exact same opposite thing by merging their official Epic Games account with their Nintendo account. They did the exact same thing with that Nintendo account with that Xbox account, and I did the exact same thing when I upgraded to the when I first got my PS5 from Christmas. I did have a lot of trouble merging my Nintendo account to my PS5, because I wanted to have my Nintendo account and also my PS5 account both linked, and the only way that I could really bypass it and it also gives you an option. I don't know if it's Epic Games, I don't know if this is a problem that some people did encounter, and it'll give you this option just to create an Epic Games account. Then when in reality this account is owned by the exact same email, using the exact same email address. So I don't understand why that is, because and also people and merging accounts, guys, and fun fact to all those to all those Fortnite diehard enthusiasts, are merging accounts is bannable. So because if it goes against Fortnite's TOS, terms of service, and it does intend to go against Fortnite's TOS. So it is very very bannable, and if you do this again and again, obviously you will get banned. And Fortnite, and it does have potential. It does have the potential to lose every single to lose some skins from Fortnite lockers. So you do have some problem there. But to answer you, I mean, I would not do that. I mean, if I were you, I mean, that's because I don't want you guys to fall in the exact same trap. So yeah, this is just a little bit of experimentation that I did. So it's just it's just a lot of stuff, goes on behind closed doors. But yes, Iconic is a very very good skin. I don't understand why the skin got revoked from people's lockers. So yeah, it was a bit of a problem. Do take so myself. And the next exclusive skin that I'm going to touch up on actually is kind of a very very good skin that has been absolutely, I'm a diehard fan of this skin, and this skin is none other than the Blue Team Leader. And the Blue Team Leader was actually the first ever PlayStation, exclusive skin that you could get, by actually just buying a PlayStation 4, basically. And it was released in Chapter 1, Season 4, I believe. So it was a very top of the time, it's a very very top of the time, very very popular time period. Because Fortnite, OG is Fortnite's peak times, was during Fortnite's peak times. I call it Fortnite's peakest era. So it was a first ever PlayStation, Plus. The only way they could get this is by having a PlayStation Plus subscription, and to be honest, it was kind of hard. Well, it wasn't that hard because all you can do is get a PlayStation Plus subscription, and the skin and the entire pack was sharp on the PlayStation, on the official PlayStation store, and you can actually just get it. You can actually get it for completely free. So it was completely free to do so, and this skin is absolutely, well, I do use it personally. To be honest with you, I did actually, I do actually own this skin on my main account, and I don't really see this skin. This skin's very popular, to us of you, but I think the only thing that kind of lost the skin's popularity is when people, speak less about it, and it does kind of speak, very very, people speak very little about it these days. Like, I don't really see it in much. I don't really see people maining it as their main outfit. I don't see people, using it in Pirate Royale. I don't really see this people. Like, occasionally, I might see it, in a game of Bat Party Royale, because that's where most people chill and hang out. When it comes down to because I normally live stream fashion shows. I normally see a lot of people using this skin, so it's not lost its popularity, but it is a very very good skin. Don't get me wrong, but it's just underestimated. Really, because obviously some skins that OG skins that are popular, some skins that people own, and it's just a lot of people just don't really seem to care about these skins anymore, especially this one. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And the next exclusive skin I'm going to talk about is the Double Helix skin, and this is where it gets a bit more complicated, guys, because this skin was the first ever Nintendo Switch exclusive skin when the Nintendo Switch first came out. When Fortnite first came out on Nintendo Switch back in Chapter 1 Season 4, so it was first ever playable, and then we got the upgraded version on Nintendo Switch 2, and obviously I have a Nintendo Switch 2, and the Nintendo Switch 2 is absolute, guys, to be honest with you, Nintendo absolutely did a very very good job with this console in terms of in terms of the next gen graphics, and it is literally matching in line with next generation consoles, because people do these big comparisons against the PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2 to see if there was any difference within graphics. I did see a bit of a difference when I was watching this, and Nintendo Switch 2 has a way better graphics. And to be honest with you, if you're not compared, but the PS5 has some really really good graphics. It still has decent graphics. It's still, I'm not saying Fortnite is unplayable on the PS5, because PS5 Fortnite is still very very good. And yeah, I'm absolutely I'm a diehard fan of this console, but we'll save that for another video. But to be honest, the Double Helix skin was kind of hard to accumulate, because the Double Helix skin was the first ever Nintendo Switch, exclusive skin, or at least it was one of them. But it was one of a kind, basically. And in order to get this, you would have to buy a Nintendo Switch 2, Nintendo Switch, sorry, and you would have, and inside that Nintendo Switch would have, a downloadable code on it, and these like skin codes go for quite a lot of money these days. So I mean, the value of these things have gone, have steadily gone up. Have suddenly like risen up. So, but yeah, I mean that's what it is, and also I mean it's impossible to get codes for the skin now. I mean surely if you was in the United States, um, the value proposition here is like you're talking like triple the money. So you're talking um, like $1,000 if you was in the United States in order to get the skin. But in the UK, it's a bit It's a bit more complicated, but than it may seem. But yeah, this is how I feel about the skin really. Um, Another exclusive skin that it was kind of which is kind of this is kind of where it gets a bit Dan. I'm not saying that, but this way it gets a bit more interesting. Here we have the reflex skin. Now the reflex skin was a skin that a YouTuber made actually, and was first released in Chapter 1, Season 7, I believe. Or Season 8, and it was a very very underestimated skin, and it was kind of uninteresting to me back then, because when it first released, I didn't really care about it. I didn't really, to be honest with you guys, I didn't really care about the skin for that much, like at all, because when it first released in the Iron Shop, it wasn't controversial, but it wasn't controversial, as other skins I'm going to talk about in just one memento, and what it is, with this skin, is that this skin was kind of underestimated, because it was a 1,200 V-Bucks skin, that was released in the Iron Shop. But what kind of narrated the trope even more, guys, was that this skin added this Fortnite decided to add, and they literally did the unthinkable, was when they added a black and red style to this skin, and it was a collaboration with Nvidia. And in order to get this skin, you'd have to get a Nvidia graphics card, and you'd have to, like, this is what you have to do, like the skin, you have to get like an Nvidia graphics card in order to get this skin. And then what Fortnite actually decided to do, and this is one of Fortnite's biggest mistakes. And then they released it for the Iron Shop, and it just stayed in the Iron Shop for like 2 days, and it just never came back. And it was last available over 2,500 days ago now, and it only came to the Iron Shop. Technically, it was only released like twice, and it stayed in the Iron Shop for like 36 hours. So it was kind of more random people actually. It's actually more than people actually may think. And you may as well just check your locker, because if you have the reflex skin, then you have a really rare skin in your locker, which may possibly never make a return, guys. So check it. You may as well just check it. Check your locker, just in case if you own this skin, and obviously you may know if it's rare. Just to let you know, if your friend owns any of these cosmetics, just to let you know that some of them are actually more rare than actually may think. So yeah, let's talk about the reflex skin. Now, another exclusive skin that I absolutely love, and it's a very very popular exclusive skin, and this skin is Glow. The Glow skin, in my personal opinion, is one of the best exclusive skins that Fortnite has ever released. Even though it was released in Chapter 1 Season X, The way that you could get this skin was when um, Fortnite did a collaboration with Samsung. So it's a Samsung Galaxy exclusive. And in order to get this, you would have to download. You have to get a Samsung. I think it was only compatible with the Samsung Galaxy. If I'm not mistaken, is it compatible? It's when Fortnite was still in the Epic Games Store by the looks of things, and then obviously we had this like lawsuit with Epic Games and Apple, before it was like because it was like a bit of a rivalry going on. I'll save that topic for another video, and it was kind of controversial, and what this basically did, this skin, this was when Fortnite was still in the art, was still in all compatible with all devices, and in order for you to get this, you would have to download Fortnite, sign into the Epic Games account using your Samsung device, and I think it's only compatible with the Samsung Galaxy like S9 series, if I'm not mistaken. And this skin came, and you have to, and also when it showed up on the V-Bucks section, and it showed up this skin showed up on this bundle, and you could actually redeem it for free, which is absolutely this is absolutely crazy. And to be honest with you, I don't see many people using this skin at all. I do know, I did know, but to be honest with you, I don't have to mention this guy's name into this, but my old best friend from secondary school, who I don't speak to anymore, actually, when we used to play Fortnite together, we used to, he used to use this skin quite a lot. So, he used to use the skin quite a lot, and to be honest with you, this skin, is fire. Like honestly, it's absolutely fire, and I do own myself on my main account, and I do kind of regret redeeming this skin. So yeah, it's good. But I think another skin that a lot of people have really turned in. I'm going to be talking about this Iron Shop skins now, and based on the subject of Iron Shop skins, there are many Iron Shop skins that have not made a return, and there's actually a few that are considered really rare now, that have not been in the Iron Shop for like just over 1,000 days, which is absolutely ridiculous to even think about. And one of them is no exception, and as a matter of fact, the Rue skin. Now I've spoken very candidly about this skin throughout many years I've been doing YouTube, and to be brutally honest, this skin, it was first released back in chapter 1 season chapter 2 season 2, during chapter 2 season 2, so during the when Doomsday event happened. And to be really honest with you, I don't like the skin, guys. I don't like it. It was kind of people were kind of making accusations about the skin, saying it looked like something pretty negative from the world history, and that in itself did kind of cause a ton of backlash when the skin first released. And to be honest with you, compare this back then till now, surely the controversy with the skin has kind of died down a little bit. So people are speculating that this skin is one of the best skins in the game. Those people are wrong. Those people are capping. So these people are speaking a ton of cap. Why is the skin? If you think the skin's the best skin in the game, whoever you are watching this video, then what is wrong? Because this skin is not that popular. It had a lot of controversy surrounding it, and I wonder why. And that's the reason why this skin hasn't been out in over 2,000 days. And we got to look at the context here, guys. Is that this skin only came to the Iron Shop twice. So I do think that I'm not digging at people who own this skin, because there's still some people that watching this video that actually that own this skin, and they do realise even at that back then they thought to themselves, maybe I should have refunded it. Maybe I should have, used my leftover V-Bucks, and maybe I should have used the remainders of my refund tokens just to refund this skin. And I would do the exact same, if I was you in this particular situation. So yeah, I don't know when the skin did get an updated Lego style, so it was updated back in chapter 5, so meaning that this Fortnite do have plans to release a skin. I don't know when that date is going to be, because to be honest with you, if I was one of those YouTubers that had a chance to get their own locker bundle, I would not even include the skin, in my opinion, because my main skin, the main skin that I use, that you guys probably do see, on my most recent live streams, is the Renegade Raider, and most of you guys know this. Renegade Raider is my main skin, and I see Renegade Raider, and Renegade Raider is even more popular skin than the Roost skin. So take this as you will, but yeah, that's how I feel about the Roost skin. Now, another skin that I don't really see the point of, it's a set of skins actually, and it's the OG NFL skins. Now, I've spoken very, very candidly about these skins too, and I just don't really see the point of those skins re-releasing, because I'll tell you one reason why that is the case, and there's an argument to be made here, is that these skins had a lot of controversy, and that's the reason why these skins haven't made their way into the yarn shop in over 2,000 days, and 2,185 days now, and because beginning of February, they've not been out in over 6 years, which is absolutely crazy. And these skins are OG NFL skins, and I don't really see the point, why Fortnite should go ahead, and I don't really see the reason why, the most logistical reason why Fortnite should just don't go ahead and re-release those skins, because people will just buy them for the nostalgia, because they were first released in Chapter 1 Season 6, and it was kind of uninteresting back then, because there was it was released during a time where people were still playing the game, and honestly it was kind of it's still released in Fortnite's peak anyways, so I don't really care for these skins too much, really, but they're decent, really. Honestly, they're not bad, they're not terrible skins, but there are skins that released recently, the most recent chapter, NFL skins, and those skins come to the yarn shop all the time. So I don't understand why Fortnite are just keeping those skins in the vault. I mean, we'll see when they release, but that's how I feel about the NFL skins. Now, another skin that that people don't even know that the skin is still rare, and it's a Shaman skin. Now, this skin was first released in Chapter 1 Season 8, along with the Night Witch skin, actually, and Night Witch releases, the female variant, Night Witch, releases every month. Well, it has released, every month, because it hasn't been out in over 450 days now, which is kind of insane, and it did come to Yarn Shop 14 times, but however, the male, equivalent to the skin, actually hasn't been in Yarn Shop in a matter of 2,000 days, which absolutely is ridiculous. And people are considering this skin as the rarest skin is the rarest Iron Shop skin to return, and it is technically, theoretically speaking, guys, the rarest Iron Shop skin, in terms of days last seen. And to be brutally honest, I don't really, I do like the skin. I do think the skin's unique. I think the skin's, really, really good. I think it's got some uniqueness about it. And it was very, very like popular, but I don't really see many people using it because I think only stacked accounts only use this skin. So yeah, but that's it for today's video, guys. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your night, and see you in another video very soon. Peace out.